Hello everyone. So in today's lecture we will discuss about Ohm's law in vector form or the microscopic form of Ohm's law. So in the last lecture we had discussed about specific conductance, and by that we had got this relation J is equal to sigma into E, and I told you that this is the vector form of Ohm's law, and in today's lecture we will derive this Ohm's law in vector form. Also here sigma will be your specific conductance, not resistance. Is it clear? So today Ohm's law in vector form or the microscopic form. So macroscopic form, I told you when we define Ohm's law for the whole area of the conductor, that will be the macroscopic form. When we define for a point, when we consider for a point and we are defining for the conductor the Ohm's law, so that will be the Ohm's law in vector form or the microscopic form of Ohm's law. Clear? So now today we'll derive this equation J is equal to sigma I. How we'll get this relation J is equal to sigma I? So we'll use, because sometime the question is asked to derive the Ohm's law in vector form. So that's why you will start from this relation V is equal to M upon NE square tau L by A into I. So V by L, this will become equal to M upon NE square tau I by A. V by L is your electric field E. M upon NE square tau is your rho specific resistance, and I by A is your J, that is current density. So E will become equal to rho into J. Also we had seen in the last lecture that specific conductance rho is equal to 1 by sigma is equal to 1 by rho. So rho will become equal to 1 upon sigma. So if we place in place of rho 1 upon sigma, what we'll get? E is equal to 1 upon sigma into J, and J will become equal to sigma into E. So this is your vector form. In vector form, why? Because this current density is a vector, electric field is a vector, so we can write J is equal to sigma into E. So this is the relation for current, means Ohm's law in vector form or the microscopic form of Ohm's law. Now for an isotropic substance, I hope all of you know about isotropic substance. So for isotropic substance, J is directly proportional to the electric field. That means current density is directly proportional to electric field. So in vector form, Ohm's law states that the current density is directly proportional to the electric field, and the direction of the current density coincides with the direction of the electric field. Also we can say that if J is equal to sigma into E, so we can say that J by E is equal to sigma. That means the ratio of the current density to the electric field is a constant. This is how also you can write this statement for vector form, Ohm's law vector form, that the ratio of the current density to the electric field is a constant. So that will be the vector form of Ohm's law. If direct in 1 mark the question is asked to write the vector form of Ohm's law or microscopic form of Ohm's law, then you can write J is equal to sigma I. There is no need of doing the derivation. This derivation you will do only when the question is asked in 3 marks to find or to derive the relation for Ohm's law. So in that case you will derive this relation. Otherwise, if it is asked to write only in 1 mark, then you can directly write this relation, and then you will define that J is current density, sigma is your specific conductance, and E is your electric field. So this is the topic about Ohm's law in vector form. So we have two relations now: Ohm's law in scalar form, that is V is equal to I into R, and Ohm's law in vector form, that is J is equal to sigma into E. Now the next topic that we will discuss is electrical energy and power. So electric energy and power you already have studied in class 10. So same thing is here only. We are going to study the same thing. I told you that this chapter there are so many things that you already have studied in class 10th. Only we are a few things that are new in this chapter. Otherwise few of the things that you will find, they are similar to class 10. So again, this is a topic that you will find the similar to class 10, what you have studied about the electrical energy, electric power, then to find the higher unit of electrical energy. So all that we will discuss here. So first, potential difference and energy transfer in an electric circuit. So As you already know about the difference of electric potential and electric potential difference, electric potential we define for when a work done in bringing a charge from infinity to a point, and we define potential difference, work done in bringing a charge from carrying a charge from one point to another point. So potential difference is between the 2 points, and electric potential is from bringing a charge from infinity to a point. That is the difference. So here potential difference is the potential difference between 2 points in an electric circuit is defined as the work done in carrying a unit positive charge from one point to another. So as you can see a circuit here a black box is used. So what is a black box? So black box just we use to tell that it will be used that what input should be given inside and what output we will get from it. So you finding the output that we'll get, we'll tell that what is inside the box. Like if there is a resistor inside the box, then we'll say that the energy liberated by this box will be in the form of heat. Otherwise, if it is there is a motor inside of it, then it will be a mechanical energy. So like that is why this black box is used. Also, you have heard this term black box in the aircraft. Mostly the black box is used to give all the detail of the flight data. It provides the flight data, all the data related to the flight. So generally when there is a crash of flights, like airplane crashes, if the black box is saved, so they can find all the detail about the aeroplanes, and then they tell what is wrong with the what was the problem with the flight, so that it got crashed. So that is why the black box is helpful. Here we are using this black box only as a purpose of when the energy will be given to the box, how it will be liberated out. So if it will be liberated as heat energy, then we'll consider that inside of it is a resistor. If it will be liberated as a mechanical energy, then it will consider that inside of it is a motor. We can explain directly by using a resistor, simple. So since it's given, so in your book it's given using the black box, so I'm using the black box here. So if in this circuit is completed, we are using a key. If it is on, and when we switch on the battery, then the current will start flowing in this circuit. Current will go in the black box also. So what is the work of this battery? So this battery provides the electrical energy to the charge. Battery never produces the charge. It gives the energy to the charge so that it can move. So that is what the work of this battery. So battery provides the electrical energy, and we will find out the electrical energy formula for this. So suppose if I ampere, this A is for ampere. So suppose I ampere current flows in the above circuit for t second, and it carries a charge. Suppose Q charge flows from A to B in time t second. So Q will be equal to I into T, because I is equal to Q by T. So the work done or electrical energy supplied by the battery is given by W is equal to, we know that W by Q is equal to V. If V is the potential across this, so W will become equal to Q into V. Now that means the electrical energy taken by the charge is given to the black box. Now how the energy will be liberated, in what form, we will tell that what is inside this black box. So that the electrical energy which is provided by the charge to the black box is recovered from the box as energy liberated in the form depending on the device inside the box. For example, if the device is a resistor, as I told you, so the energy appear as a heat in the resistor. So from equation 1 and 2, that is Q is equal to I into T and W is equal to Q into V. If in place of IT, here in place of Q you place IT, so this will become W is equal to VIT. You already have learned this relation. So this will be the amount of work done or the energy liberated, we can say that. So it can be expressed as W is equal to VI into T joule. Now equation 2 and 3. apply to transfer of electrical energy to all the forms. So this equation, whether W is equal to Q into V or W is equal to VI into T. VI into T when we replace Q by IT. So this will be the amount of electrical energy that is given by the electric charge to this black box, and that electrical energy, if inside the blocks is your resistor, will be liberated, will be appear as a heat. So in the case of only when the inside the box is your resistor, if there is a motor inside of it, then the energy will be appear as mechanical energy. Clear? So now if we are considering that inside the box there is a resistor, so in case of resistor we know that its resistance will be equal to V upon I. So in place of I, if we place IR, so this W will become equal to I square R into T. Now in place of I, if you place V by R, then this will become V square T by R. So these are the relation that we'll get for the electrical energy. Both these equations, so equation 4 and equation 5, apply only to the transfer of electrical energy to the heat energy in a resistor. When it is resistor inside of it, in that case this will be the amount of electrical energy. W is equal to I square RT, V square T by R, that will be transferred to the heat energy. Now about electric power, so we know that the rate of doing work is your power. So the rate at which the electrical energy that is given by the charge to the black box will be transferred to the other form, that will be considered as power. How we define power? We will define power as the rate at which the electrical energy is converted to the other form of energy. In general, you have studied about that rate of doing work is called power. Clear? So here the rate of doing work is done by, that means work is done by the charge, and here in this case work is done by the battery. Is it clear? In this case there is no external agent, so when we say that work done in carrying a unit charge, who will do the work? So work is done by this battery. So in this case work is done by the battery. So the rate at which electric power, how we define? The rate at which the electrical energy is transferred to other form of energy is called your electric power. Also we know the formula for power, that is W by T, where W is the energy transferred in time T. So just now we had seen that W will be equal to VI into T. So if we place VIT upon T, so this will become V into I, which you already know that product of V into I is your electric power and its unit is your watt. And also this will be 1 watt will be equal to 1 joule per second. Also we have watt, if we use this formula, so this will be equal to volt into ampere. Now for a resistor, if we consider that for a resistor, so in place of V we can place IR, so this will become P is equal to I square R, and if in place of I will use V by R, so this will become V square by R. This also you have studied in class 10, the formula P is equal to I square R or V square R, both are the formula for electric power. Now the commercial unit of electricity consumption, again a known topic. You have studied in class 10th about the unit in which we pay the electricity bill. So generally we get the electricity bill in terms of unit, like for 50 unit, 60 unit, you measure the electricity consumption by your meter, which is outside our house, kept outside, connected outside our house, and we see in that how much unit is consumed in a month, and then we multiply it with the cost of electricity per unit, and then we pay our electricity bill. So in what unit? That will be your kilowatt hour, or we say that 1 unit, that is your board of trade unit. So mostly people say unit is your board of trade unit or kilowatt hour, 1 kilowatt hour. So how we define 1 kilowatt hour or 1 unit? So it is the quantity of electrical energy which is dissipated in 1 hour. In 1 hour, how much electrical energy is dissipated, that will be your kilowatt hour. Now when the power in the circuit is kilowatt, so we have kilowatt hour. So this is the quantity of electrical energy which is dissipated in the 1 hour in a circuit, and if 1 kilowatt power is if the electric power in the circuit is 1 kilowatt, so in that case 1 kilowatt hour will be equal to 1000 watt into 1 hour. 1 hour equal to 3600 seconds, so this will be 1000 watt into 3600 seconds, so that will become equal to 3.6 into 10 raised to the power 6 watt second. Also this we can write it as 3.6 into 10 raised to the power 6 joule. So this will be the value of 1 kilowatt hour. Now if a current of I ampere flows in a circuit for T hour, so at V volt, then we can say that the electrical energy dissipated, the formula will become equal to electric power into time, that is P into T. So in that case electric power is your VI and multiplied by T. We had just now seen this electrical energy formula which we are getting, VI into T. So VI is your power and T is your time, so this will become P into T. So we can say that electrical energy dissipated will be equal to electric power into time. So this will be VI into T watt hour. Now VI into T, if we are measuring, this is in watt hour, but when we pay, that means in kilowatt hour, the electricity bill that we pay, that is we get in terms of kilowatt hour, that is in terms of unit, and unit will be kilowatt hour, will be equal to kilowatt hour. So that means we have to convert this watt hour into kilowatt hour. So that means when we convert it, that means we have to divide it by 1000. So this will become V into I into T divided by 1000. So number of unit will become equal to volt into ampere into hour and then divided by 1000. So this will become watt. Volt into ampere will be your power, unit is watt. So watt into hour divided by 1000. So number of units we measure by this, and then we multiply it by the cost of each unit, like 5 rupees or 8 rupees, whatever it is, we'll multiply total number of unit consumed in a month multiplied by its cost to get the cost of electricity for a month. So this is the topic about the electrical energy and the vector form of Ohm's law. In the next lecture we will discuss about a very interesting and easy topic, that is color coding of resistors. So I hope the topic is clear to you. If you have any doubt, then you can send me your queries on my WhatsApp number. Thank you.